This is Bill McMinn from Eagleville Bible Church, and this is the Way to Go podcast, where we talk about faith, family, and daily life, putting the Bible into practical, everyday terms. Welcome to the Way to Go podcast. Bill McMinn and Eric Barfell, and we are talking about Psalm 37. That's what I want to talk about. So I'm not looking at my phone, actually, and ignoring Eric when he's talking as I'm looking at Scripture. So actually, he doesn't know that, because you could actually be talking to me and I could be saying, I'm looking at Scripture. I'm like, look at that, just came up on Marketplace. I'll be texting my wife, hey, go check that out. Facebook Marketplace, my new thing. It's my new thing. So yeah, because I'm getting rid of junk. So I'm happy, to be getting stuff out of my yard and getting money for it at the same time. So it's just win-win all over the place. So what are you up to this summer anyway? What do you got going on? Anything super cool?
Oh, man. My whole life is just... No, super cool. No, I'm holding a baby.
That's awesome. What are you talking about?
That is super cool. Yeah, I don't mean to downplay that. Yard work, working the land, as my dad always calls it, just working the land. That's endless. Running full gas to a mission trip, VBS, things like that. I mean, so this year for the first time we're doing 2 mission trips, 2 separate trips, both at the same week. So we have like a more advanced, a student-led one, and we have a group that I'm on, which is all first-timers, which I'm really excited about. So gearing up for that, and we've been working on that since January, February. I mean, so it's coming to a head, the actual trip, which is, so I think it will be awesome.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm looking at.
I think I probably think about, when it comes to church stuff, the same things everyone has to think about. VBS is coming up. Like things like that. It's like, hey, what about here? Maybe you don't have a tent, so where are we going to get one? We find one, that kind of detail. But then my mind's starting to go to the next family meetups. Boy, I want to teach Psalms in the fall. I better start studying that out. Yeah, that kind of stuff is where my mind, or today is like Friday afternoon. And here we are doing the, I don't know what day you'll hear it, but this is Friday afternoon for us anyway. And then we're sitting out there talking. Yeah, we probably should do a podcast. Yeah, let's do that. We'll do that. We'll go try to find mics that don't slip down, because we're trying a new system and, all the fun stuff that we go through when it's us and we're not have this super busy
crew. For sure. But it's all good things. So.
Oh, it is good things. I built my daughter an herb garden because she asked me to. So I'm like, okay.
Nice.
Yeah. So now I have one. I haven't had one for years. I had one at the old parsonage, and then when I moved, I never built another one. So I think it's cool. Got some rocks from Scott Godleski. Appreciate Scott. Got some horse manure from Rick, and I get to hear all the fascinating stories.
Do you pay for this?
No.
Is that
no? Okay. That's what. Let's go get some.
It's
nice.
Never had to acquire any.
You're all in Eagleville. It's just it's nice. It's kind of like Eagleville and Eagleville Extended. I was accusing Scott and reminding him he lives in Eagleville. He didn't think he did, but he goes, "No, I live in Austinburg." I said, "Really?" I said, "Who you're close to? You're like a quarter mile from Eagleville, and you're 4 miles from Austinburg. You're an Eaglevillian just like I am." So he lives as close to Eagleville as I do.
Nice.
So yeah, I wasn't letting him get away with that. You're in Eagleville. So all these Eagleville guys, we got to stick together. So I got this horse manure anyway. And he told me the story. He said, yeah, it came out of this horse arena. And he goes, Bill, this place or stalls, whatever it was, he goes, as tall as I have. And he has an 18-wheeler and a trailer that he parks in there. That's how tall the building is. And he said that the horse manure was so thick that they tied the horses to the trusses of the roof. That's how much horse manure. And I got to hear that great story just to define that, hey, it's okay. You know what I'm saying? That it's really rotted down enough. Eric, it's just got to be rotted down enough to not be too hot to burn your plants. Because you actually get fresh horse manure, you put plants in it, it's going to not be a good thing. So it's got to I don't know. What would the term be? It's got to rot even more. It's got to mellow out. I don't know. What do you say? It's got to be plantable.
The more you know.
Dude, I threw a truckload of that stuff down there in this herb garden, and I got my hands in this goopy stuff and I planted it.
Thank you.
That's what I do for my family. That's what a man does. That's what a man does for his family. He builds herb gardens in horse manure. Gets rocks from Scott. That's what have I been doing this summer? Lately, that's what I'm doing. In fact, today, I'll be doing the sidewalks. I'll be doing more. So do not fret, though, in Psalm 37:1, because of those who are evil, or be envious of those who do wrong. Then what are envious? Why would it be envious of those who do wrong? Because they're having fun? What? Having a great time?
Yeah, because they prosper. The wicked prosper.
Yeah, maybe. It could be that. It could be just like they get away with it. Oh, look at that guy. He gets to do all this stuff, and look at that. And they're selling drugs. I'm not envious of any of these things. Please don't take it this way. I'm just, trying to explain it. So if you're envious, I guess you would think, hey, look at what they have because of what they're doing. And they have the lifestyle. They got the life. They don't have any responsibilities. The guy just sleeps around. He doesn't even have to worry about this. And yeah, it could be. Well, it depends on what it is. But he said, don't be envious and don't fret because of people are evil and what they're getting away with this. No, don't worry. I always tell people, we shouldn't be worrying about God's stuff. If it's not our stuff to worry about, why are we worrying about it?
Right.
Let God worry about God's stuff, and we just worry about our stuff. And our stuff is not their stuff. So you got to remember, like, the stuff I'm supposed to be worried about and concerned about isn't what everyone else is doing. I need to be worried about what the world I'm doing. And unless there's somebody that I know and I'm friends with that's doing goofy stuff, then I'll have to say stop.
Yeah.
Stop doing it. Because like the grass, they'll soon wither. Like green plants, they'll soon die away. What do you think of that?
The plants in my house wither pretty quick. I'll be honest. They're not rooted in manure. It sounds like your plant's going to last quite some time. The plants in my house, they go pretty quick.
They're going to be the tallest herb plants in the world because it's going to be the ultimate in fertilization right there. No, I would say that the grass, it just doesn't last that long. And if you cut it, it dries up fast. Right?
So yeah, it scorches. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. So green plants will soon die away. I mean, in any season, it doesn't matter. Like I have some great plants, and one plant I know had to come here. I don't believe I ever planted it intentionally. I think a bird ate a seed out of a plant in the woods somewhere and pooped it out on my property, and it germinated. And now I've got it in at least 3 different gardens. This thing is growing, and at times growing in places I did not plant it. The great thing about it is it will bloom for at least 8 weeks. Like there's already a bloom on it right now, and we're in June, and I know that in August it'll still be in bloom. I don't have a plant quite like it. It is really an amazing plant, and it stands compact, keeps its shape, keeps its beauty almost the entire summer. So I love the thing, and I've actually now split it in different places, and now I propagate it, meaning I just replant it elsewhere just to have it. It's amazing. But even that plant at 2 months, I was talking to Aaron today, in 18 weeks, does 18 weeks seem like a long time? Like when you say it like that? Does it? Yeah, no, so. I mean, leaves will be changing in 18 weeks. I think 18 weeks, judging by how fast the last weeks have gone, it's going to go by pretty fast. The summer. So even if I get an 8-week, 10-week season out of the bloom, seems like a long time. It's not going to be long. And that's how it is with these people. They're like grass. So don't worry about that. Here's what you do. Trust in the Lord and do good, dwell in the land and enjoy safe pasture. Don't worry about what the evil people are doing. Don't fret. Don't envy them. They're going to pass away like grass. Here's you. Trust in the Lord and do good, dwell in the land and enjoy safe pasture.
It's a good passage.
What do you think about that, though? Trust in the Lord and do good. Just think about that one phrase. Trust in the Lord, do good. Trust in the Lord and do good.
Yeah. No, and I think the previous part of that, verse 1 and 2, don't worry about what everyone else is doing. Worry about yourself. You make your decision.
Right.
You trust in the Lord.
Yes.
You do good. You worry about you.
Right.
You make your decisions and live with it, and let everyone else make their own choices.
Because guess what? You are only in control, ultimately, of the choices you make.
Absolutely.
Because of that, that's all we need to worry about. It's not that I'm not concerned. Obviously, if you see a kid in your youth group going wayward, you're concerned. We're not saying be callous or mean-hearted or we don't care about anyone but ourselves. We're not saying that. It's just I can't control what the evil people do. I can't control what goes on, let's say, in Washington, D.C. I don't control what my neighbors do. I don't control the nonsense that goes on around me. I don't control it at Walnut Beach. If there's as much smoke from pot at Walnut Beach as there is smoke from forest fires coming over from Canada, I don't control it. I don't control that kind of stuff. I smell the pot when I go to Walnut Beach. I don't think I can hardly ever go to Walnut Beach and not smell it, to be honest, but I'm not smoking it, so I don't have to worry about it. I just have to go, I have to do the right thing. And that's what God expects of me, because someday I'm going to stand and it's going to be mano a mano, not that God's man, but understand the terminology one-on-one, and I'm going to give an explanation of my own life. And he says, trust the Lord and do good. And what it reminds me of actually is my favorite verse in Ecclesiastes 3:12, which says, be happy and do good. Be happy and do good.
Yep.
Be happy and do good. But you're not going to be happy if you're not doing good, right? Trust in the Lord and do good. You do the right thing and it's going to work out.
Yeah. Okay. There's another verse in Thessalonians. It says something along the lines of, I'm paraphrasing, like, keep your head down, work with your hands, love the Lord, or something like that. I would have to look into it, but I think it was somewhere in the New Testament.
Well, it definitely says don't be idle, and definitely says work with your hands.
Yeah.
So one is Ephesians 4, where it says don't steal. Let those who are stealing steal no longer, but work with your own hands, having something to share with others. I mean, that's one concept that I know for sure is in there. And then the others I've heard, don't be idle, get out there and be busy. I think all that's important.
Yeah.
Like what you do in just taking fulfillment, rule the world, have dominion. I think we take a lot of fulfillment. So one of the things you've been doing this summer is you try to do what every day?
Oh, this last week I've challenged myself to get out in the yard and just do something at the house, which worked up until last night when it rained, Thursday when it rained. But yeah, just to like stay busy, in the evening hours. And like I love to mow the lawn, but like weeding, no. Spraying stuff, no. Weed whacking, man, take it or leave it. But like the lawn is good now, so I don't have to.
Right.
But to go like above and beyond or just stay productive, like last weekend, I went home after church and I cleaned out the garage, which I've never done before in the 2+ years I've lived in the house. And it was just like, it was disgusting. It was all the stuff I've intentionally been avoiding. So just like finally shined some light on the situation. I just dragged everything out, borrowed my neighbor's shop vac, cleaned out all these disgusting spider webs, cobwebs, insulation from mice and poop and whatever else. It's just gross. And then I put everything back, sorted through. It's like, what is this stuff even? Junk? Okay, throw it away. Like, why do I have this?
Right.
Things like that. So, and now it's like looking really good. So I just have to like maintain it.
Right.
But I mean, honestly, like that kind of stuff is truly just work for me.
Right.
Like I really don't enjoy it, but I know it needs to get done.
Yeah, I guess I'm goal oriented, so I just look at it like when I start weed eating on a night like hopefully tonight I'll be weed eating later on. It'll be an hour easy, like easy. If I have to do all the fences and down by the road, that's an hour. If I'm just blazing around the house, that's pretty quick. But to do everything, yeah, that weed eater, when you start, okay, this weed eater's going to be in my hand for a while. I'm going to burn a tank of gas.
Yeah,
I'm going to keep going. Some point
Right.
I'll have to change the line. I don't love it. I don't do it because I love it. Like, oh my goodness, I can't. Please let me weed eat. I hate fall because I don't weed eat as much. I don't. Weed eating is not actually my favorite thing to do. I think it's good for you. It's a lot of twisting, good cores, fitness, and stuff like that. I don't mind that part of it. But there's other things I'd rather do. Some things I think are fun. Some things I don't think are fun. Some things I do just because they need to be done. But then you can stand back and have that sense of accomplishment, which I think is pretty awesome, actually.
right.
I love to go. I planted trees this year. Hardly a day would ever go by that I would not walk through the trees, where I'm not going to walk by the blueberries or the strawberries or the things that I plant and check it out and see how they're doing. And then when I find things aren't going as well as I'd like to, okay, why is that? Let's figure it out. And I just love that. Just walking the land. It is the best.
Nice.
But anyway, he says in verse 4, which I think is challenging, take delight in the Lord and he will give you the desires of your heart. How does it read in your? Is you the same version?
Yeah, this is NLT, New Living Translation. Take delight in the Lord, and He will give you your heart's desires.
All right, so they're using the same word, delight.
Yeah.
Now, that's a word. I don't know about you. It's not a word I use all the time. I don't say, "Oh, Eric, I delight in going home and walking through my gardens." You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I delight in it.
Delightful.
I know. Listen, I've heard people say it.
Right.
Like, delight. There's actually a book that I was thinking about using, and in the book it said, and I was going to use it for a small group, and it said, delight in your rest. I'm like, no, I can't use the book. I don't like the word delight. I don't like it. I thought it was too soft. It's too soft for me. I'm like, I don't use the word. I don't say I delight myself in things, but if I'm looking at it at face value, that I'm supposed to take delight in the Lord, I would say delight would be happiness, enjoyment, pleasure.
Yeah, take joy in the Lord.
Yeah. I think there's challenge there. What do you think about that? I mean, just take joy in the Lord, just in nothing else, just the Lord.
Oh, absolutely. I believe so. Definitely. And I think kind of adding into the second part, like once we take delight in the Lord and are content with that and how things are, because it's, everything is from God, every good and perfect gift is from above. That is kind of what our heart desires. It's not like, oh yeah, take delight in the Lord and then you get whatever you want as a result of that. It's like, no, it's more of to me, I've always read it as like, it's a perspective shift. So once you are delighted in the Lord and your joy is truly in the Lord, you kind of realize that is what you want. And that's where like the contentment comes from.
Yeah, true. But I mean, do I think that he could give you things that you delight in? Oh, absolutely. You know what I'm
saying?
Sure,
absolutely.
Like he might bring things into your life, like the desires of your heart or something that's really important to you. And you find that it's kind of like seek first his kingdom and his righteousness.
Right.
And all these things will be added unto you as well. All things are important. If God is the
Great
priority,
passage.
if God is the priority and he's first, then he knows how to order your world. Or if you have Solomon saying, hey, okay, ask anything you want. And he doesn't come to God like he's a genie and ask for riches. He asks for wisdom. And he said, well, because you asked for wisdom, I'm going to give you all the other things that you would desire, right? So I'll give you the wealth and the things that people do enjoy, to be honest. I'll give you those things. But he was putting God first at that time in his life.
Yeah.
So I look at this and say, well, put God first. But if I'm going to delight in the Lord, I guess then the question for me would be, well, how so? Like, how would that show up in a way that's relevant to God? Because if I'm delighting myself in the Lord and it's important to him, then the way that I do it would have to be something to be relevant to God. In other words, if I love my wife, I can say, hey, I love you, so I slept extra long today. Oh, okay. Well, maybe that's not really something she cared about one way or the other. Hey, I love you, so I ran today. Oh, really? It's good. I don't really care if you ran or not. You know what I'm saying? Like it would, if I'm going to delight myself in Jerry or show love to her, it would have to be in some way that she relates to.
In the way she feels loved. Is that what you're saying? Oh, okay.
Exactly. In other words,
you're not doing something for yourself and say, oh, it's because I love you.
Yeah, or anything else, or go and do a bunch of vacuum cleaning, and to her, she doesn't really care about that. What does she care about? Like, how does she receive love? Well, maybe it's in words of affirmation, or it's acts of service. I think it's acts of service for her, actually. But if I'm doing something around, she knows I'm doing it for her. It's got to be relevant. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to delight in the Lord, it's got to be something that would be relevant to Him. So I can't say, "Hey, God, I delighted in you because I went out and had fun today." Oh, really? Well, I was just hoping you'd come talk to me for 5 minutes and pray. I was just hoping you would open your Bible and read it.
Right.
I was hoping you would ask me before you made that decision. Like if you're delighting in me, I think you would talk to me first before you went out and did something. I would think you would obey me and think about what I would think about your behavior before. Like that, to me, would be delighting myself in the Lord.
Right. No, actually, our youth lesson this last week was all about engagement. Actually,
Okay. All right.
Not relational, but engaging with God, engaging in the Word, engaging in worship, engaging in service. The passage was Matthew 7:24. Wise man, whoever listens to these words and puts them into practice is like the wise man who built his house on a rock. And so we kind of looked at the two. It's like, okay, a lot of people just hear the word. They just show up to church and then they leave. There's no engagement. There's no real interaction with that.
Right.
And Jesus himself says that's foolish because that's all talk. There's no engagement with it. There's no, and so I really challenge the students. It's a lot of you who are here every Wednesday. Sweet. A lot of you here are here every Sunday. What is different in your life as a result?
Right.
do you engage with God, or do you just simply
and are you
show
here because
up?
your parents made you be here, or are you here because you want to be? And I think God would know the difference. Like to me, the delight in the Lord would be, hey, why don't you take some time today and maybe sit out on your deck or patio and thank God and be thankful, or somehow, God, I honor you. Like I'm truly not, because I feel it's when you get to a certain point in your Christian walk, I can only talk anecdotally, and maybe no one even relate to it at all. I just think you know what to do. I think you know what the right things to do are. If somebody comes to you with an issue, you know what the right things are to say. And not that you're giving pat answers, but you just, after a while, you kind of maybe you could say, I've got a clue as to what in the world it is I'm supposed to be doing and what you could do to get yourself out of. Let's say somebody came to you with a financial problem, and you would kind of have a clue as to how to advise them and what to do. And so you kind of know certain pathways are great and some certain pathways are not. And so you might say, hey, I can just walk this pathway indefinitely. Like I could honestly just be moral and faithful to my wife indefinitely. I could not curse and scream at people indefinitely. You know, I don't drink, so obviously drunkenness wouldn't ever be an issue. Like I don't say mean things. I just don't. It's not who I am. I don't get mad and say mean. Okay, but so what? Yeah, that's great. And I'm not saying, do that. All those things is great. Does that make you closer to God? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I just think you could go through the motions of Christianity or religiosity and not have your heart or think about it much at all. Hopefully not. But I mean, so I look at delight in the Lord, and then the challenge would be, okay, well, when are you kind of walking with God like Adam and Eve did every day? You know, God would come down, or as far as we know, every day, you know, he would come down the cool day, he'd walk in the garden and talk with Adam and Eve. And okay, well, when is that happening? And are you making any sacrifices in your life to actually take that time to talk to God? And hey, I'm going to block out some time right now. Like I really need to talk to God because why? Because I need to let God know he's important to me. He's a player in my life. I can't do it without him, because I honestly believe all those things. Like I do not believe that a person can successfully live their life apart from God. And be truly happy.
I agree.
And then he says, if you do that first and you really prioritize that, then everything's going to follow. And then he says, commit your way to the Lord, which is kind of very similar to Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, right? Acknowledge him in all your ways and he will direct your path, right?
Oh, yeah.
Commit your way to the Lord, trust in him, and he will do this. He will make your righteous reward shine like the dawn, your vindication like the noonday sun. And sometimes like life is not that complicated. Honestly, it's really not. Just pray, read your Bible, obey. Love people. My goodness, don't go through life and don't love people. I mean, actually care what they're going through. Like if we hear our buddy Art, by the way, our drummer, and you'll, whether you hear about it in church or hear it from us, he's got cancer. And so we're praying for Art, and that will be a prayer request that you will hear come from the front. And I think that some of the prognosis seems positive initially. So hey, praise God for that. But yeah, we're going to be praying for him, because guess what? We care about that guy, right? We're not going to all of a sudden, oh, wow, something really, happened to somebody. Let's not even take a moment to stop and pray. Right. I don't know.
Yeah. And going back to the youth lesson, the second half of it was, the other passage we looked at was James 1:22. This is James, the half brother of Jesus, saying that, the religion that God accepts as pure and flawless is to look after the orphans and the widows. So the immediate needs of the community were obviously orphans and widows. So James says, hey, if you have religion, that's great, but if you don't do anything with it, it's worthless. And so he lists out the needs there and then, the orphans, if you're not taking care of them, well, what's the point?
Right.
It's kind of what you're saying. Like if it's not bringing you closer to God, if you're not engaging in that service, man, it's all talk.
Well, I agree with that 100%. It's like, if you have not love, then what really is the point?
Exactly.
He says, be still before the Lord. Wait patiently for him. Sometimes you do have to wait patiently for God to answer a prayer. Don't fret. Whatever you do, just don't fret. So many people they're so anxiety filled. They're so worried about every little thing. Let God worry about God's stuff. And they're going to they're going to do some bad stuff. You just be still before the Lord. Refrain from anger, turn away from wrath. Do not fret. It only leads to evil. So that's interesting, isn't it? That our anger, our fretting is only leading to evil. whether it leads to the evil taking matters in your own hands, or a lack of faith, or you're not really praying because your mind is so obsessed with all the nonsense that's going on, and you're not just constantly, maybe the challenge for us would be just constantly turn it over to God, turn it over to God, turn it over to God, right? Just give it to him, let him worry about it, and don't you sweat it.
Yeah. Prayer needs to be a first priority, not a last resort.
Those who do evil are going to be destroyed in verse 9. Those who hope in the Lord will inherit the land. So which one would he be? The evil ones are hoping in the Lord. I'm going to say, yeah, I think I'll hope in the Lord. A little while and the wicked will be no more. Though you look for them, they will not be found. But the meek will inherit the land. I mean, Jesus Christ said the same thing, right? Basically, the meek are the ones that are going to inherit the kingdom and enjoy peace and prosperity. The wicked plot against the righteous, gnash their teeth at them, but the Lord laughs at the wicked, for he knows their day's coming. Oh, that's pretty profound. He knows their day is coming. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's good. So guess what? We should know it too. The wicked draw the sword, bend the bow to bring down the poor and the needy, to slay those whose ways are upright. Because sometimes what they would do is to make money, they would be dishonest in the court. They would bribe the judges. And so here's this poor person without any means losing what little bit they have to some guy who, like Naboth's vineyard, where Jezebel gets two scoundrels to say that Naboth had cursed God in his heart, or cursed God publicly, and so they stoned him to death. He never did any of it. That's the kind of stuff that's nonsense. So that's okay. Those people were doing that. Guess what? Their swords will pierce their own hearts, and their bows will be broken. Better the little that the righteous have than the wealth of many wicked. So if you don't have a lot, but you're doing the right thing, then that's better than having a lot of wealth and doing wicked things. For the power of the wicked, again, will be broken, but the Lord upholds the righteous. The blameless spend their day under the Lord's care. Their inheritance will endure forever. In times of disaster, they will not wither. In times of famine, they'll enjoy plenty, but the wicked will perish. The Lord's enemies are like flowers of the field. They will be consumed. They will go up in smoke. Now, he goes on to say, here's something the wicked do. They borrow and don't repay. The righteous give generously. So what does it mean to be a righteous person? We don't take from people and not pay back, right? I mean, I'm not going to borrow $100 from you and stick you. I mean, I'd make it at least 200, I'd make it worth my while. Not going to do it for just 100. No, but I mean, the righteous, who are the righteous? They're not the ones that are taking from people. They're the ones that are giving. They're giving generously. They want to help people. They want to make a difference. We think about tithing. And sometimes one thing that I sometimes contemplate is the way that we tithe. Like, I do look at my bank statements all the time, so I see it come out. I don't write checks that often. Sometimes I do. But it would be more if I was going to get my brakes done and it's just better for the, let's say, Small X Tire. It's just better for them for me to write a check because then they don't have to pay the 3% or 4%.
Sure. Yeah.
Then out of kindness or out of consideration for them, I'll write them a check. A lot of bills come out automatically, including tithe. So in some ways, the sad thing is sometimes you can tithe and you don't think about it because it's just automatic. It's automatic. But isn't tithe also giving back to the Lord?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, by the world standard, like what you tithe 10%, even giving 10% of everything you make back to the Lord, that's profound. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's ultra profound, but I think it's, if you're not used to that and you're like, you give what?
Yeah, for sure.
For what? To do what? Well, for missions, for the Vine Food Pantry, for some of it's going to the mission trips and so on and so forth. I think giving and being generous is important, and allowing ourselves to be in a position where we can be, I think is a wonderful thing. Even if you bless people, I don't think it's always money, right? Sometimes maybe you have an extra coat or something you don't need, so you give it to somebody who does need it. It's like, man, I'm not even using this girl. I got somebody here who could really use it. I'm going to give it to them, or I don't care what it is. It's just something extra you have, and you want to bless somebody else with it. That's good.
I have 2 lawnmowers in my garage. I purchased none of them. They've both been given to me. So when my neighbor next door, in the house I used to live in actually, says, hey, can I borrow this? Yes, absolutely. It's not like I bought it. It's not, I mean, I guess it's mine. It's been given to me. But yeah, I have 2. By all means.
Right.
When you're done, put it here. It's under lock and key. So I'm convicted by that. The verse is like, oh, if you have 2 coats and somebody asks for one, give it to them. Well, that's exactly it. Right. I have 2 lawnmowers. You can borrow one.
I have a devious mind. Sometimes just laughing, like just wanting to joke around, stuff I would never do. But Scott gave me a bunch of rocks. So I'm replacing some of the smaller rocks I had, which ironically, Erin needs, who's producing our show. And I thought to myself, I should charge her. Just as a joke, a total joke. I'm like, wouldn't that be the most rotten thing in the world? Yes. The most rotten thing in the world to get rocks for someone for free and then charge your friend for them. You know what I'm saying? Like, it would seem so rotten to me to even do such a thing. So I amuse myself as I go through life with these stupid scenarios. But that's almost like the forgiveness scenario was that exact same thing where the king forgives the one guy this huge debt he could never pay. He finds someone who owes him next to nothing compared to what he owes. He strangles him. Yeah. God's like, I just gave you forgiveness. You can't give this guy forgiveness? Seriously? Like, you've been given so much to give back. So I think in all these little things, whether you help somebody for free, you just, no, I'm just doing it to help you. I'm not expecting anything in return. We're doing a podcast, hopefully help somebody, so you're, with your time, it's like, no, I want to give back. I want to use what I have to help somebody. All of that's good.
And hopefully it does.
Yeah, here's a great one. I was young and now I'm old. This is verse 25. I have never seen the righteous forsaken or their children begging bread. Wow. They're always generous and they lend freely. Their children will be a blessing. I've never seen. I was young, now I'm old. I've not yet seen the righteous forsaken. Never seen it. And this is a whole plea of do the right thing. Don't follow the evil. Do evil self. Do the right thing. Turn from evil. Do good. Then you'll dwell in the land forever. For the Lord loves the just and will not forsake his faithful ones. Wrongdoers will be completely destroyed. The offspring of the wicked will perish. The righteous will inherit the land and dwell in it forever. The mouths of the... And by the way, I think sometimes you hear people, take the land. God's got the land he wants to give you. Yeah, if you're righteous. He didn't say he was just going to lay down, hey, come to church, walk through the door. God's going to lay down a bunch of blessing. Well, how are you living all week long? Don't go to church and expect God to bless you and live like the devil all week. The mouths of the righteous utter wisdom and their tongues speak what is just. The law of their God is in their hearts. Their feet don't slip. The wicked lie in wait for the righteous, intent on putting them to death, which is scary, right? But the Lord will not leave them in power of the wicked or let them be condemned when brought to trial. So hope in the Lord. Keep his way. He'll exalt you to inherit the land. And when the wicked are destroyed, you'll see it. I have seen a wicked and ruthless man flourishing like a luxuriant native tree, but soon he passed away and was no more. And though I looked for him, he could not be found. Consider the blameless. Like on the other hand, right? Hey, let's look at the blameless. Observe the upright. A future awaits those who seek peace. Isn't that awesome? And then verse 40, the Lord helps them and delivers them. He delivers them from the wicked and saves them because they take refuge in him. So again, our whole thing in life is sometimes it is confusing and you're not sure what to do in certain situations. Like, I don't know, what do I do? Do the right thing. Go to God, pray about it.
Absolutely.
Well, I prayed yesterday and nothing seemed to happen today. Keep praying. What does it say? Be still. Wait for the Lord. Patiently. Just wait for the Lord. So I think it's a great chapter.
Yeah, that's good. It's one for a lot of good verses in here. A lot good chapter overall too.
Yeah, but I'm going to my takeaway verse clearly from this one is delight yourself in the Lord. Like I think that's the challenge. And I think also a verse we're looking at on Sunday as well is just where God was talking about. It's actually Elihu was talking. Revere. Like we should, and all the stuff we don't understand and all the things that happen, the storms of life, revere the Lord. Reverence. Like I would never define myself as the most reverent person that would ever walk the planet because I joke around a lot. Like I don't there's a lot of times I don't take this whole world that super seriously. I do like to laugh and joke around. But on the other hand, I realize, hey, there's people who need Jesus Christ. Like, and that is a serious business, right? I want to reverence God. I want to reverence Christ as the Savior of the world. I want to reverence and be talking about those things. I think if we do reverence and these things are important to us, we are going to be talking about it. We are going to want to bring other people along. We are going to share what God has done for us, right? Yeah. Just delighting in the Lord and making God more, maybe we'd say it this way, as we conclude this podcast, like focus. Just focus. Is God a focus of ours? Or are we just living? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Focus on the Lord. Anyway, hey, thanks for doing the show with me. I appreciate it. Hopefully something that we said in here will encourage you all. You guys have a awesome week and a blessed day.